My name is Kevin Yam. I'm part of the board of the Oceanside Coastal Neighborhood Association. There are several of us that are volunteers. Jane Marshall is the president. She couldn't make it tonight unexpectedly. She's okay. There's no issue if you know her, but she had to be somewhere else. So she asked if I wouldn't step in her place, and I said, no problem. And at the same time, later on, earlier today, I found out I had to have an emergency crown. So if in fact I start to drool, raise your hand so I know that I'm drooling, okay? All right, also on our board we have Lane. Lane, raise your hand back there. And then we also have Kurt Burst. He's not here today, and then Joe Gallagher. So, and we're an organization that roughly covers the area from Mission to Oceanside Boulevard, from the freeway to the ocean. And we're involved in business, residential. We have members from residential business communities throughout the area. And we've been in existence about 23 years, right, Lane? Yes, sir. So, 23 years. So, being on a short timeline, I want to introduce Mayor Esther Sanchez.
Hi, guys.
So, she's right here. She'll come over in a second. I wanted to make sure that I told you that I have worked in public office with a lot of elected officials, and I have found in my short time here that she reminds me of a couple of people I really admire. One is Mary Herron, who used to be the mayor of Coronado, and if you know Mary, she was very dedicated to making sure that citizens were taken care of and their issues were heard. And the other was Morris Vance. And so tonight, she only has 15 minutes with us, primarily because she has to be somewhere else, and she's always around town listening to folks. So I'm going to ask the mayor to come on up here.
Thank
For
you.
the short period of time we have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bringing it down a little lower now. Not because I'm going to do, what is that? Limbo? Lower? Anyway. Hi, good evening. Good. Feels like afternoon, right? I very much appreciate you being here. I hope to be back on a different, at a different meeting to really stay and talk more about what's happening in the city, and also be able to answer all your questions. I am one of the original founders of OCNA, even though I don't live here. I was at every single meeting when it first started and have been very supportive of your organization. I'm here to talk about something that I have been fighting along with other mayors, other council members, in other cities, in San Diego County especially, because of course it's going to hit us pretty hard, and that is SB 79. Do you know what SB 79 is? Senate Bill 79. Okay. We have been paying a whole lot of attention to it because it's another effort to take away our city's ability to determine our zoning and our city's ability to make decisions on projects, period. It calls for setting up 3 tiers. Originally it was 3 tiers of transit and transit stops. And we thought we were in tier 3. Tier 3 was eliminated early. SB 79 by Wiener, State Senator Wiener. He is from San Francisco. He has been behind a lot of the YIMBY, yes in my backyard kind of legislation, basically to take away local control. Because he feels very strongly that we need to build more housing, and that if we build more housing, at some level, we're going to be able to get some kind of affordable housing. So, Senate Bill 79 was amended 15 times. It was that bad. It is a bill that had to pass both the Senate and the Assembly, and then would have to be signed by the governor into law. The governor could have rejected it. It was not as clear in terms of the language. Definitions were not included This is something that I guess they decided to do later on, and that has now been done. As of Friday, we now have a more definitive understanding of what SB 79 means. And basically, we now know that Oceanside is included. Bottom line is, it talks about transit-oriented development. And for us, that meant the Sprinter, mostly the Sprinter. As you know, we have 6 stops. They're not destination stops. We have the most stops within the 78. And we thought, as I said, we were going to be in tier 3, which would have been a little less. Basically, what it calls for is that within a half mile of the transit stop, all around, do a circle, half mile, around each transit stop. Developers will be able to build up to 7 to 9 stories, high densities. 7 to 9 stories, high densities. Again, we thought we were going to be in tier 3, which would have been a lot less. And we actually did not even think that the Sprinter would qualify, because they were, again, back to those definitions. It had to be at least 48, it would have to run at least 48 times per day across both ways. Across both ways. We thought that would mean, 48 round trips. Guess what? It doesn't. They added going one direction plus the other direction. We now qualify for tier 2. Tier 2, as I said, is 7 to 9 stories. There is a certain development that would be within a quarter mile, and then the other quarter mile. So the legislation also provides that each city can do an alternative plan. In other words, look at what that means in terms of units, and decide to put them somewhere that would make perhaps more sense. As you know, we've been updating the general plan, and we have come up with densifying the corridors: Oceanside Boulevard, Michigan Avenue, Vista Way, some parts of Vista Way. So we had already been thinking about that, densifying, and our general plan is scheduled to come to the council, I believe, in June for approval. I want to be there. And I know nobody likes the idea of having to build density, but we have to meet our RENA numbers. And while we've already met our RENA numbers in terms of moderate, in terms of market rate, we still haven't met our RENA numbers, that's the regional housing for our city, requirements for our city. We still need to meet our numbers for very low and low income, which is pretty high.
Whose requirement?
This is the state of California. State of California, which basically means the legislature, and if the legislature passes it, then the governor is able to then decide whether he will sign it into law or reject it. So we thought we were in tier 3 just before it was voted on, it was taken out. We did not think we were going to qualify for tier 2, that is the Sprinter. As you know, I'm on Sandag, and this is something, actually Sandag for the county of San Diego will be the one who will be deciding on putting together the maps to show, which transit we're talking about, and the Housing and Community Development, HCD, for the state of California, just issued their definitions to be more specific, and on there has actually named the rails, the bus stops. It doesn't just mean rail. It also means high-frequency bus stops, and especially if they have their own lanes. So we're talking San Diego, San Diego, transit. We're also talking about Chula Vista. We're also talking, actually, even Solana Beach is qualifying because of the coaster, believe it or not. Okay? So I'm here to tell you, this is going to be on the agenda on April 8th. I want you to be there. I want you to listen. This is something that we're going to have to work together as a community to figure out how to address this. We were able to get access to a consultant to help us put together maps. We didn't want to wait until Sandbank had their maps, and they're going to be issuing this probably this week because they were summoned. It's 4 counties right now that qualify. There is yet another Wiener bill that's going around. They're going to try to actually expand it. So, as I said, our city manager, Jonathan Borrego, has been really pushing hard on this because, basically, we both understood that we need to act and we need to provide that alternative plan, and we need to ask for more time. So, there are 2 strategies that we're following. This is supposed to be by July 1st. By July 1st, we're supposed to have our maps, our permits, our plan already done and turned into HCD, the State Department of Housing and Community Development. We are going to be asking for more time. And I will tell you that Los Angeles County is asking for more time. I'm hoping that the rest of the other cities that are going to be especially hit hard in San Diego County will be asking for more time, and that we'll be able to work together. There are some properties that will not be included. That would be like parkland, and the ones that are included. Let me just say that are residential and commercial and mixed use. So if you, in your mind, can draw a circle around each of our transit stops, that's what we're talking about. On April 8th, there will be a presentation, and the staff will tell you what that means in terms of number of units. I will tell you, it's astronomical. Astronomical. This doesn't come with any funding. It's a unfunded mandate, and this is coming to Oceanside. Sorry, it's 6:12.
Yeah.
So, do you have any questions about what I've said so far? Yes, sir.
It includes bus stops as well, you said?
Okay, so included bus stops, but because ours are not, there's no high frequency, or there's not a dedicated lane for buses, for bus stops, for buses, it does not qualify, that doesn't qualify us. The only thing is the Sprinter. And actually, it's not the only thing, it's also the transit center. The transit center, how far away is that? Is included in that half-mile radius. So this is one of the things that will be on the ballot in 2028 about taking back local control. This is one of the things. I think that this is going to be a high alert for, not, like I said, not just our 4 counties. There are 4 counties. It's San Diego, LA, San Francisco, and what's the other one, Eric?
San Diego, LA, San Francisco County,
And then one other county, not Orange. Orange, they're trying to get into this through the expansion.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. There is another one. Alameda, I forget which one it is.
Santa Clara.
I forget what it is. So, that's what I'm here to talk to you about. I wanted to put this out on your radar. It won't be brought up tomorrow. Maybe one of us will report on it. But it's going to be on the council agenda April 8th to have all you understand that our alternative plan is going to have to include high density, but in the places that we believe it should happen on our certain corridors. So please stay tuned. I know you have Eric, who's going to be next. Do you have any other questions?
The questions we have here, I think we have
Yes.
to keep you on track, is just one question that I have here. When will you, came from the audience, when will you enforce the law regarding Rhythm Church at 701 West from endangering public health?
Okay, I just talked to the city manager about that today. So I think that person has been contacted. There are several code enforcement cases on that, and I don't know anything more than that. But I did forward that information. I remember that they closed the streets without getting permits. What was it, last year or the year before? And I tried to, I'm sorry, let me finish this. I tried to get the street reopened, and I couldn't. And I understand that there were some near traffic collisions and all that. So we do know about the history of Rhythm Church. It basically has outgrown the space, right? So the city's looking at it.
Great, and I want to keep my promise and keep you on track because you have to get somewhere else. Do you mind if we have some of these questions and send them to you and
No,
get some answers?
please do, and then I'll get them back to you or Jane and
Perfect.
with the answers.
And thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. We know that you weren't able to answer them all, but we'll get them to you and get
Yes.
them to you all as well. Thank you very much for your time.
I want to apologize for the bad news, but we have been fighting this. We have been trying to get Sandag to push back as much as possible. Originally, Sandag was not going to put it on the map, but they were given a directive by HCD. So, I can share that with you. They did issue that on Friday, and I can send that as well. And on there is the Sprinter and the coaster. All right. Okay. Thank you all, and I will see you soon. Thank you.
Well, I've heard a lot about SB 79 myself. I used to work in local government. And so, as the mayor said, it's a big deal. And if you think we've seen a lot of growth happen in the area in which we live now, you're going to see a lot more. And so I appreciate you working with us as the mayor had to leave because she has a very busy schedule, as does Deputy Mayor Joyce. And we want to bring him up right away. He's been in office since 2022, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so Deputy Mayor Joyce, come on up. And as he comes up, I've worked with him on several different issues, and it's been great working with him. I will also tell you that you might want to ask him about Tompkins conservation, something very close to his heart. And also, I just found out the other day from one of my pickleball buddies that he is a heck of a body surfer. So, another question, but I'll have a few questions. If you could, again, we'll save some time at the end. I know we didn't have enough time to ask the mayor all the questions we had, but give them to us on a card again, and we'll get them to Eric either if he can get all the way through them, or we'll also ask him to follow up as well.
Sounds good. Oh, this one here. Oh, double mics and that going. This is some professional stuff here. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Eric.
My name's Eric Joyce. I'm a council member. I am the deputy mayor right now, which is an appointed position, which means if Mayor Sanchez can't do something, I pinch hit. I come in and do what it is. So it is an honor to be with you today. It's been an honor to represent you these last 3 years. It's gone by fast, and there's been a lot of happening between when we started and now. So, format-wise, you want me to just give a couple of updates and then I can answer your questions, because you probably have more questions. And the mayor really took the air out of the room with those first couple of really tough items, because they are really tough, and they're things that we have to deal with. So, we had a downtown workshop for those of you who weren't able to attend, which was really exciting. We took on a lot of issues that have been bubbling up around the downtown, especially given the fact that we have really large-scale development happening in the next few years. And so that workshop was really important to get on the same page about looking at our standards of how we're going to be designing things downtown. And it feels a little bit late, I know, because some of these have come through. I tried to get it before we had all these developments come to us, but I didn't, you need 3 votes for anything. So we did eventually get the downtown workshop and agreed on some of those things. Having watched the last OCNA meeting on YouTube, thanks for posting them. I do know that there was a lot of questions about cut-through traffic and about what it's going to look like as Coast Highway is getting to its complete streetness self. And so we are definitely moving forward with that study of looking at the downtown specifically, but also in that workshop we talked about our neighborhoods around here as the greater downtown area, because that's kind of where you're at now. And looking at how traffic is going to move through these areas. So there were some good questions about and good flags about that in the last meeting, and so I know Tila is working to put together a full comprehensive plan around that. We are looking at doing a promenade near Pierview Way. So there's a street that's not utilized heavily down in the downtown area near Regal, and we're looking at making that into basically a park space, adding trees, adding things to do. Every time I've been traveling for the city or for otherwise, I've been looking at these kind of urban style parks, and the thing that I saw the most use of the last time I traveled was a pack of 4 ping pong tables in the middle of a park. And this is you wouldn't think there'd be people, but every time I walked by it, there were people playing ping pong against each other. So we can be creative, we can try things. It can be temporary, and if it doesn't work, the great thing is we just pick the stuff up and it goes back to being a road again. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. I'm excited to see what the downtown looks like with more people on those streets walking around. We're going to get scrambles at the intersections of Mission and Coast Highway. So that means you'll be able to cross any direction from any of the corners so that you're not sitting and waiting. Again, it's making these spaces better for pedestrians just overall. So some of these changes are small changes like that, so you don't have to wait twice and you can get to where you're trying to go, and you feel like you are kind of in charge of the streets as a pedestrian. And some of the changes are about trees. So we're going to add a lot more canopy trees so that the hardscape that you're living in the downtown area, as we're seeing more and more high rises and other things like that, you'll be cooler as you're walking around. You'll feel safer. That's kind of the cool thing about when you add trees. It does a lot of good things. So that was part of the plan. And then we have commissioned a group to do a full downtown and greater downtown parking study. So they're going to look at what parking actually looks like from now through the summer and in the fall, and give us recommendations on what we need to do. Again, considering the fact that we have some large-scale development that's coming downtown, and we want to make sure that everybody who lives here still is able to park and get around their neighborhoods safely. We, again, are looking at the traffic calming through the neighborhood, given the conditions that are happening. We have really good news on sand. I'm in the frustrating position of not being able to share exactly what the news is yet, but we're going to have a really big announcement in the next month about getting more sand on our beaches. So if you consider that where you go to play, that's a really good piece of news for you. And the best part about the news is that it's not just sand for one area where the re-beach is, it's actually sand for our entire city. So I probably shouldn't have said that yet, but okay, I gotta move on so I don't get in trouble. And then I have SB 79 on here, but do we need to talk about SB 79 anymore? Okay, we're good with that. Yeah, it's frustrating. The timing is rough. It's going to make it really hard for us to have meaningful conversations about it. So if you want to catch me offline, we can. I think you got a full earful on that one already. On Wednesday, I see my friend Steve here. He may have poked you and said, hey, this city has been embarking on this tremendous effort to create an age-friendly city. So it's been an 8-domain pursuit, along with community meetings for over a year. and it's looking at making our city more friendly to seniors, which in turn ends up making it more friendly for everybody. But it is really directly in doing that work. And Steve was a big leader in starting that. He said, I've got this idea and I want you to come see it. And so we went down to San Diego and met with AARP and saw what they were doing, this really wonderful work of engaging in the community. And so on Wednesday, that's going to be presented to council. The draft plan is already out. So if you want me to send it to you, you can. If you signed up for our newsletter, you should have seen the link in it. Esmeralda, who is here in row 4 on this side, we wave for everybody. She does a ton of work. She's my staffer in the office, and we put together a newsletter that goes out every 2 weeks, and it has a lot of information in it, especially information that concerns our area. So if you're not signed up for that, and you don't mind getting one email every 2 weeks, there's a list that she has with her. So, Sandgood, age-friendly cities coming forward. We're going to take that on Wednesday. We had a big conversation about the CIP budget, which is capital improvements budget, and the conversation really surrounded, do we want to focus all of our energy on the big projects that are in front of us right now, like rebuilding the Pier View Bridge, not the end of the pier, that's happening, that's insurance job, we're not saving up for that. The actual concrete part of the pier, are we going to put all our eggs in that and a couple other really big projects? Or are we going to leave space for smaller projects that have really high impact in the communities? I was on the side of trying to make sure that we don't lose the small things that really have a big impact on our communities in that conversation. I think that point came across. So moving forward, we're going to have a September hearing, a big workshop on the CIP budget every year. And that's one of those things when I came in, I was asking, like, when does the public get to come in and talk about how we're spending our money? And there was no forum for it. So it took a couple of years to get there, but we now are going to have this budget where every year you have a chance to come in and talk about where the city is investing in building infrastructure. And that's going to be every September. And I just wanted to ping a favorite topic for everybody, road maintenance. And I had a conversation in the back with my friend. It can be very frustrating to drive down the road and see these massive potholes. It is something that we have spent over $34 million on over the last 6 years. So it's expensive. If we want the roads to be in better and better condition, we have to commit more of our annual budget to that. If that's what our community wants, then we need to come together and talk about that and make that decision as a community. I hear about roads a lot, but it's just important to remember the trade-off of adding more and more millions to that budget doesn't get into other places. So it's an important conversation. We just passed a 5-year road maintenance plan. So what it does is it says in year 1, these are the roads that are going to be covered, and these are the roads that are going to be worked on. In year 2, these are the roads. So it gives you a whole 5-year layout of what we're planning to do. You can go, as on public, it's on our website right now, it's a 5-year pavement management program. So you can check that today, also linked to the newsletter. And you can see if the road that you're worried about is on that list. If it's not, this is a plan, and we're always willing to update it if we can do it within the budgetary constraints that we work in. So if that's something that's on your mind, I recommend you check that out, and then we can continue having that conversation. I saw a question in the back.
Yeah, so typically the city's basically like resurfacing the entire street if there are no potholes. So if those potholes magically disappear, then you wouldn't have to pay higher property taxes in the future for that kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean, so the pavement one is like way more complicated than I like. It's because the lower the condition it gets, the faster you get those potholes. But the lower the condition, to a certain degree, you have to dig up the whole thing, which is a much more costly enterprise than just resurfacing. So there is a complex planning mechanism within the pavement management system. It's not just like, what is the worst looking street right this second? It's like, what is the worst looking street that's not about to collapse beyond the place where we have to now dig up the whole street? It's a dance. So, again, we can talk about that more, but that's kind of where we're at, and I think it's good that you have this public document that you can go check out and see if your favorite street is gonna get the facelift this year. Okay, that was my list. You don't have any questions, right?
So I have a couple here that a few folks submitted.
Yes.
When will Oceanside Boulevard, the main gateway boulevard from the freeway to our coast, have a safe, walkable sidewalk on the north side of Oceanside Boulevard from the new pump station to Nevada Street? There is currently no safe walkway on the uphill where cars swing by at 40 to 50 miles an hour.
They do stream by very fast in there. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that one up.
I don't know, it's fair.
If there's not, I haven't heard of a plan to put that in. You talk about expensive, like adding in a sidewalk where there is no sidewalk we got a quote on that at one point, especially on a high grade like that. It's costly. So what we would do for that situation, for this anonymous, very interested person, get 10 of your friends and submit requests for this early and try and get it into that September CIP budget request. So this is where shining the light on what we're doing as a city gives you the power to then bring things forward when we have that conversation. So I have, to my knowledge, I think it's the first time anyone's asked about putting that in. So I don't know that we even have a plan to do so because of the anticipated cost of that. So,
Eric, I think there was a project approved.
the previous project that was gonna go in at the field?
It was gonna go in, however, I saw it up for sale. I guess Marriott gave up on that, but that would be a condition of that project.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
horrible hotel, as people call it.
Yeah, so barring somebody else taking up a project there, you know, that's on you, on us to
Related
build it.
question.
Yeah,
So people zoom up the hill only to stop at Dimar Street. So how do we just slow them down? I mean, what a waste of energy and everything to zoom up
They've got
that
the
hill.
speed trap thing on there now, they've got your speed
Well,
monitor,
but that
but at
doesn't
least it
slow
makes
a
people
car.
aware.
How do we put in traffic calming to get people to slow down so it's safe to walk on that street? Because bikers, it's not safe for bicycles.
no. Yeah, on that grade, you'd have to do something that shifts the flow of traffic. So I'd have to ask Tilo.
No reason to speed up the hill.
That'd be tough.
All right, the next question. Can you give us an update on the permit parking plan near LLL Reptile?
Yes, so the next moment that we're gonna do any permit parking anywhere around here is going to be after the parking study is done that I just talked about. So we hired somebody to look at comprehensively the parking situation from the downtown to the greater downtown neighborhoods so that we can get data on what's the best thing to do and get professional recommendations on what's gonna happen. So it hasn't gone away, but that has to be finished
How long
first.
will that study take? Because we submitted that petition almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah, I think I think the length of time that it's taken is the indication of how worried staff is about it. So part of the impetus to do this study is that they can get data on making an informed decision for that. So,
Is there anything temporary can be done at this point? Because that Seagates project is
Mhm.
really affecting traffic in the very immediate area around the reptile area and the residents that live there. They have large trucks and a lot of workers parking there now, and shorter parking would be nice.
yeah, I don't think that staff is willing to do anything until after that parking study.
And how long would that study take?
I think it'll take 6 months or so.
I think another area you need to really look at in that same areas with the project that's going in, that 8-story building, it's extremely hard to drive around it, and the only time I'm giving you a little letter of list of things
Thank
at
you.
the end, so this is one of them, is that I feel that you need to suggest to the contractors to have a permanent person directing traffic there, because that is a near miss for accidents, and
The high school.
when people, and the school is in session or anything, but people coming up Seagaze, that's their way to get to I-5.
Yeah.
So that's become a very busy street.
And when there's a traffic guy there, he doesn't pay attention to pedestrians. So he's waving the car on when I have a flashing light thing flashing on, I'm halfway through the intersection. So,
So maybe a
Education.
temporary solution would be through the contractor, some help you can get.
Yeah, so we could try, so I just wanna clearly understand what you're saying. When they're on site, that's the issue, or is it the issue that it's compacting the traffic
It's on
just
weekends
anytime?
also, but when they're on site especially,
Okay,
they have their trucks, their little loaders.
yeah,
The only time they have brought out a person to be a traffic control person is when they have the big cement trucks.
okay,
Then they bring out somebody, but the rest of the day, they've got all the time, on weekends, you have the fence, but you've got porta potties and there's storage buildings, and you're inching out, trying to look down, see, because we turn on Nevada, we come in on Mission, turn
Yep.
on Nevada to come into our area,
okay,
and
you
looking
can't,
down Sea Gaze, it's
so you're
very
coming from
dicey.
the east of it.
So the whole
looking
daylighting
down.
thing doesn't
Yeah.
play.
yeah.
You're usually blocking one entire lane also whenever.
Yeah.
Just to get out,
That's
oh,
during the
Yeah.
work time, but then on the weekends, of course, but just even trying to look around their site,
Yeah.
it
Okay.
just blocks everything.
so, Ezra, I was taking notes on that, and we'll talk to our city staff about what we can do to make sure that they're holding up there. They have a plan that they're supposed to be upholding during this construction time, so we'll just make sure, for one, that they're doing what they've been asked to do, and then for two, that we need to go further because it's unsafe, or move something visually.
Thank you.
I suppose with the crane now, we live in the 100 block of Ditmar, and with the crane, every morning I go out and I go, oh, I'm just waiting to the side. We've lost all privacy anyway in our backyard, so, and if that's the way it is with the 8-story building, I guess we'll be waving to our neighbors up there.
Parking places with residents.
Along the same lines, with regards to
Yep.
parking, can we continue that conversation? Because does that extend to 701 West Street? You have multiple constituents here tonight,
Yeah.
and we're here to talk about that. It's a real public safety concern.
Mm-hmm.
We're aware that since last August, that commercial development has been warned. They are not providing the parking that they're supposed to.
Mhm.
They have an unlicensed daycare. They have an unpermitted structure that has caused thousands of dollars in damage to the businesses of the locals around there. It caused flooding. And so now it's a public safety matter. We're trapped in our homes. We're confronted by members of that establishment who yell at us and threaten us when we just ask them to please not block our driveways. Ambulances and fire, they cannot get through those streets. And this is almost every single day of the week. It's not just Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So right now, we have a petition signed in person by over 30 people on here, over 25 more online, demanding that something be done, because the city has been aware of this for over a year, years in fact. Many of us here have complained time and time again. And the most that's been done, they were fined $100 this month. That's it, $100.
Yeah.
And city enforcement, code enforcement told me, the most they'll do is fine them $200. Wow, thanks. That
It's
is
lit
not
up all
acceptable.
night long.
Yeah.
It's lit up like Las Vegas all night long.
Yes.
And I live across the street.
issue is also
Yeah.
I live across the street from the church, and it's just unreal.
Right.
I live directly across the street, so my name's Kyle Bergen.
Hi,
I have a young family that's there, and I live directly across the street from the church, and I've been there for 6 years, and I've seen them grow. They have over 1,500 parishioners per week showing up, but for me personally, it's not only just a parking issue, which I do agree is equally as valid, but it's a huge noise concern.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
like 6:15 in the morning to well past 9 o'clock at night. And
Is
then
that
having
on
people-
Sundays or every day?
This is every single day.
Right
of the week.
now, they have a DJ setting up in the front, outside, and over 250 people will be out there on young adult night, tonight.
And the music will play until 8:30 and 9 o'clock at night, and then it takes over an hour or 2 hours for all of them to leave
they
When
pay
you-
for
and
it.
You got noise with the
And
two.
and the parking is equally as bad. My wife is backed into parishioners' vehicles. We can't physically leave our driveways because my truck can't fit in and out. So that's ultimately a problem too, but
They've tried putting cones out on the driveways, it's not enough.
it's the
They're
noise.
driving over the cones and the
Well, I live
constant
on
noise.
Leonard,
My
and
wife
they've
has a
gone hard drive.
neurological condition
We're not gonna allow
and
that.
we're thinking about moving because it's unlivable.
We can't afford to move. It's so expensive.
Yeah.
Their rent is so low, we can't afford
But
to
I,
move.
and also, I got a new car about 2 weeks ago, and I've already got 3 dents in it, and I know it's from Sunday. People just trying to park so close, cause I'm across the street
I
like
accidentally
that.
hit his car actually because of it, and so,
Oh, that's you?
yeah. So the traffic's a concern, it's the noise that is the problem.
Yes, they are
Yeah.
very
Got to do
much.
something, we have to do something.
They've
Is
just
there
had
anything the
space.
city can
7
do?
days a week.
Is it possible that maybe law enforcement for not just one fine, in a year, a fine every infraction, every day, and every time there's a call, another fine? If they were getting fined $200 per infraction, and if they're doing 20 infractions a day, now it starts to hurt, and when it's 7 days a week, 30, whatever, every month, now it becomes something, because if they are breaking the code and
Yeah.
those laws, then they need to be fined every infraction,
Yeah.
not just a blanket. And it may wake them up.
Resources for that?
So,
That will fund it. That
do
will
you have
fund
another
it.
question about
I
this?
just wondered, what is there anything that the city can do, because I've lived there 27 or 28 years, and of all the churches that have been there, there's been nothing like this ever, ever, ever.
Yeah. So, okay,
Yeah,
so
it's a mega church.
I'll start with, I'm aware of the issue generally. It does help to have the details, so I appreciate everybody who's here tonight to talk about it. I also am aware that they have not been, good neighbors in coming into compliance up until now. From what we're being told, and this is again, like Esther said, I talked with our city manager today about this issue because I knew it would come up. Their job as code compliance is to get people compliant. And so that's what they attempt to do. This came to a head because they were not responding to that way, and from what they've told me today is that they're being more responsive. And I'm not saying that it's over. What I'm saying is that that's the conversation that happened today about it. But it doesn't leave all of what's happened before now in the dust. It doesn't make any of us forget it. So I don't think we're gonna get into a situation where we're gonna find them out of the space. I don't think that's a realistic, but hold on. That's not our only conversation. They are using a conditional use permit to operate, right? So I think if it gets to the point where we can't find a way to coexist, then that is what will eventually happen. From my understanding, they are trying to find somewhere else to be, and
They are
all right, guys, I understand that everybody's super pumped, but I can't hear everybody one time. So.
Have 10 cars towed a day. That costs the individuals will start learning too. If they're in your driveway, if they're blocking your driveway, call a tow company.
Well, this is, I know it doesn't help for it to be on you, to feel like it's on you, but when you do those complaints, when you put it in the Oceanside app, you create a paper trail of what's happening, and it does make a difference in the end. So,
I'm just
Because it
asking
gets
how,
tracked.
because I know from our neighbors, like, we've been putting it in the app, we've been sending emails to you, we've been sending emails to the church for, I know,
Yeah.
over a year, and nothing has been done except a $100 fine.
well, that's not, no, the only fine that's been done is that, but Kirk has been, it's recorded, there a lot.
I spoke to Kirk last Thursday, and he told me it's, the worst that could happen is a $200 fine,
From
and it's
him.
at his discretion. He says
Yes.
if they act like they're trying to comply, which is supposed to have been done since last August, then he might not fine them the $200.
Yeah.
I
So,
mean,
Deputy Mayor,
nothing's happening.
I I don't have a solution for you tonight, and that's just the real, like, we're in the situation where you have two neighbors, and a lot of neighbors, and another neighbor who's not.
Can't you give parking to us?
Yeah, if they're not parked in the right spot, yeah.
They would make it.
For parking,
Blocking
They
driveways.
were in front of all the fire hydrants, did you find it, painted the curbs? They don't know the law, and they don't obey the law unless it's where.
yeah.
They're parking in front of the sidewalks. I know there's an implied crosswalk at those intersections.
Yeah, the daylight
They
is
don't know about it, you're like ignorant. And they park right there,
Yeah.
and you cannot walk your dog down the sidewalk without going on the street and around and all the traffic.
So we can increase enforcement, and that's
That seems
why.
like a pay.
Hmm?
It seems to me like we're paying the city
Yeah.
to enforce it.
I can ask about specifically the parking ticket, the lack of parking tickets, so I don't have that answer tonight, and why we don't
Maybe
have
you
that
get parking
doing.
tickets, usually when they're too close to the intersection, because it's so crowded. West Street is
That's
only
the
really
daylight
one lane
of
when
the
you park on both
20
sides.
foot rule, yeah, no, I mean, that is the law now, so,
Is that just something that we should call? Should we, like, when there is an issue, how should we handle that as residents?
which
In the
issue?
moment, like, if it's, yeah, either the parking or like a late night noise enforcement, like, so we call code enforcement?
You can call the non-emergency line to.
That's what you call it.
police, yeah.
We
That's
can call
what-
many times and then they'll come out 2 hours later and then guess what? They're gone by then. They've blocked you for 2 hours, now they're gone.
I know that you're frustrated, but kicking a church out like early is not, that, it takes time to get to where we're
So
and.
how about not kicking them out, but just enforcing the law? Like they have shown that they have not provided parking, that
Well,
they're.
they have now, that's the thing that they have done.
As of
And
last
so,
Thursday, Kirk told me
as
they
of
have
this
not.
morning, they have, so that's,
No,
it's a
I was
concept
there,
that-
I live across the street.
I hear you, I hear you, but what they're required to provide as on-site parking, they have shown that they have complied with that order as of today.
This is this afternoon, I couldn't.
Okay, but that's not what we're talking about, I believe that, and that's somebody blocking a driveway, that's different than providing an on-site parking, so those are two different things.
I'm right across from the church to his neighbor.
Okay.
And I couldn't get out of this.
When this wraps, everybody who's the close neighbors, let's stay behind and chat too, because I wanna.
There you go.
I wanna.
Yeah.
get you on this, okay? 'Cause I know.
And I know that this is difficult, so, and from an OCNA standpoint, we will stay on top of it as well.
Absolutely.
I know Eric well enough, Deputy Mayor Joyce, that he will follow up on it, and, I appreciate you answering those questions here, because they are difficult. So, we can wrap early if there are no more questions, and you guys can have that conversation, but I wanted to see, are there any more questions on any other topic from the audience? Lane?
Just a follow-up on the downtown parking, there was a big article in the Union Tribune about the Mesa's downtown, where they're trying to do all the affordable housing development, and we have approximately 3,000 apartments coming downtown as is, and I know you are learning direction about SB 79 and what that can cause, and we all understand that. So this parking study that's being arranged right now, and they're looking at it, will take into consideration
Yes.
the projected developments of all of downtown. And like we said, that we've had the issues with, cut through and all that with what's coming to the Coast Highway Lane direction.
Parking one will not be talking so much.
No,
about
but we
cut.
have these two
Yes.
things coming, so we will have more data
Yes.
to address. Because I remember with the parking that, we did everything as far as the way that the rules were laid out for the permitting. And understandably now that it's become more mission critical with all the development and the buildings not providing enough parking, anticipating that people can do, will be using public transportation, but it's been my understanding as someone who's worked with minimum wage workers, if you're bringing in 800 a week, those jobs don't get the pick of the choice of when they go to work. And so, and the way public transportation is set up today, not
Yeah, we're not there
10 years,
yet. Yeah, you're right.
that they may need 2 people in these 400 square foot apartments in order to make rent, and 2 cars, and if there's 120 parking and 180 units, they gotta park somewhere, and that's why we thank you for addressing that, and I also wanted to say, you know, thank you for, like I say, putting it out there in a place where we can be available to see it, because that helps as well.
I have a question. Before they give these permits, when they start to be able to build these buildings, isn't there studies to figure out how the parking in that will work before they build the buildings? And I don't get it. You know, it's like,
that makes too much sense.
yes, of course it does, and the government makes no sense.
So, what the state has done is they have said, building the housing
Yeah.
is the most important part. Where the people go after that.
Yeah, where they're gonna park is not the problem. You know, they leave it to the people.
Yes, so yes, that among many other issues with the state preemption
Yeah.
issues. But yes, we have a local requirement for how many car parking spots you have to provide when you build housing.
But are they providing them? Are
No,
they?
this one isn't, the other ones are.
Okay,
Yeah,
if they're
in
not,
fairness,
what is the consequence? They have no consequences.
None, because the state has said your
Yeah, how
rules
wonderful.
don't mean anything. And so when they do preemptive laws, a lot of our local zoning is no longer ours to enforce. And that's what they have done.
We live in wonderful California, which is.
Can I go?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Wind Coast Highway, is revamped.
Mm-hmm.
When is that happening, when is that actually going to happen?
Yeah, so.
And then I have a
I'll
follow-up
take that
question.
first, yes. So we're on pause.
Yeah,
Because the current plan did not have enough funding for the green, part of it, so we're seeking funding to do more trees and shaking and be along the trees, so it's not all just streetscape.
are you guys, are the roundabouts still in play? The
So
roundabout?
what was presented about last time is still in play, but
Okay.
we have paused moving forward on the construction yet because we're seeking a grant to get landscape funding from.
And then
more
the
streets.
last question I have has to do with what I'm seeing. I've lived in this neighborhood for 35 years, okay? And I've seen it grow. The traffic is out of control from Oceanside Boulevard all the way down to Wisconsin. Wisconsin, there's a stop sign. Then the next stop light is at LTH, that street. What I see is cars and motorcycles, really loud ones, hit that stop light, and then they go down to LTH and just do actually wheelies.
You're talking about on Coast Highway?
Yes, wheelies. I've seen it actually. And what I'm saying is, I've come to a meeting before, and what was expressed is Oceanside Police does not have the traffic police officers on staff, but they were going to actually work on those numbers.
They have.
They have.
Got great news.
But I don't
Look, for
see
the first
them.
time tonight.
But I don't see them.
Yes, well, we should introduce them to you. We should invite them to one of our upcoming meetings. So one amazing thing that our new chief has, he's not really new now, but he has worked really hard to improve the morale and to keep and retain more folks. So we are more staffed than we have ever been. We have the fewest vacancies. We have less than 10 vacancies on the entire department, which is a really low number. When I think I got on, we were in, I want to say near 30 vacancies in the police department. So we are staffing up, and that means we were able to add traffic.
2 more
I hope
trucks.
so, because it's really loud. It's really loud, and this is supposed to be a
Yeah,
walk, it's supposed
loud
to be a
when you're
walk,
I know, I've
a
sat there
walkable
on
neighborhood. Yeah, and I almost got run over like yesterday just walking my dog like 3 times.
And noise pollution does a lot to your internal nervous system. It's
Right.
not to be ignored. You have a question, okay? I'm trying to pick on people I haven't seen, so you haven't asked one, so will you go ahead?
It might be too complex for this.
No, come on, we got this.
So what happened is, before you got here,
And by the way, you told a great story last year, I watched it on YouTube. When an apartment owner paid $1 million for a dime, do you remember telling that?
No.
Yeah, so, the example was, there's a big complex, and whoever owned it, he had so much money, he'd recently paid $1 million just for a dime.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah.
That was a classic, by the way.
Thanks.
So, the point is, you're not gonna outsmart Bill Gates, you're not gonna outsmart Warren Buffett.
Mm-hmm.
So, what happened before you came in?
Tonight or just in general?
In general. City council saw a boogeyman with these ADUs, and people are paying $300,000-$400,000 to build these ADUs. My wife and I built one. Wonderful tenants, they'll be there long-term. They're paying under market rent, they're happy as a lark. But the boogeyman is, according to staff, that our city council is asking people who build these beautiful ADUs to damage their property values by having them sign deed restrictions. Now, this has been a bad idea for 100 years, like deed restrictions on someone's property.
Yeah.
So when they go to sell the house, they have to disclose to a potential new buyer.
Right, but that's the
But you have CC&Rs. And it's because our city council does not trust our building codes, our code enforcement, or any of the, it's just the most bizarre thing in the world. Going back 25 years ago, if you don't want somebody to have a short-term rental or an Airbnb or whatever, they had to go get a permit to run that business.
Yeah.
You don't have to put deed restrictions and damage people's property values because they're investing $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. And meanwhile, we talk about SB 79, where we're gonna be building 8 million, and trust me, you won't be picking on those people. When they come in to build 400 units, they'll go right over city council like they're not even there. So we're just picking, it's just bullying people like myself and my
Yeah, it's like
wife.
the IRS, they don't go after the big dogs.
Correct, but I will tell you that the staff is pointing the finger at the city council to this day. But I think it predates this current city council.
Yeah, and state laws, because state laws.
You're not, and for Beverly Hills and San Diego, they're not doing that.
Yeah.
But Oceanside continues to do it to this day. So if we could have your assistance in working with the planning department, we got a great city planner right now.
We just updated our ADU code.
Look.
Yeah, I'll check it out, but.
Yeah, because we need to take the hundreds and hundreds of people that we damaged their property, and they need to take those deed restrictions off, because, yeah, because in the old days, we weren't allowed to sell our properties to certain people too.
Yeah.
Okay, those are deed restrictions.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea. We'll talk about it more. We'll have her do it. She looks smart. She'll do it.
Yeah. If she can't do it.
I'm teasing.
Yes, sir.
To dovetail on what you were saying, so it sounds like we're not gonna see the lowering of the speed limit on the coastal highway any day soon, or we're gonna see crosswalks any day soon because of the planning to change everything? Am I incorrect or correct?
Yes.
Maybe. Maybe, so my idea for this, and of course I haven't told anyone, on council yet, so don't tell anyone.
We won't be on YouTube tomorrow.
Yeah, totally, not at all, anywhere traceable whatsoever. I think we should do some quick build styled, work along the rest of Coast Highway. I know we're doing one section, we're doing like the full, beautiful, multi-million-dollar rebuild, but I think some of those things that can slow down traffic in other areas of Coast Highway can go in without having to spend millions of dollars. We can do quick builds that would kind of meet what you're talking about. So I think we can do that. I think we need 2 more people to support that, though.
So South Ho Neighborhood Association.
Yes.
They push, and they're doing some things in South Ho, are they not?
They got a crosswalk.
Yeah. So the point is,
Y'all got some
Neighborhood
crosswalks, too.
Association, if you get together and push something, it's a lot better.
Yeah, and we got to
than trying
celebrate
do
a
it
couple of
seamlessly.
meetings together with some of the folks from this association about some traffic calming. So we worked together on that. We continue working together.
One other thing.
Did I miss you? Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Can I just finish?
Yes.
This is a plug. There is work that's done by AARP, and what we do is walkouts. So if anyone's interested in doing that, we've actually done some around here.
Yeah, we did the downtown one leading up to
And,
the
and then we make these, recommendations to the city, so they've got a black and white proposal. And we're saying this needs to be fixed and this needs to be done, just so you know. And then there's this group called Strong Towns. So go on the internet and look them up, and we've joined forces with them. And so it's a wonderful blend and example of crossing the generational gaps that they're, and working together on the things that we
Yeah,
need
they
to
do
do to make it better.
really great job of going from, man, cars are crazy right here, to, we need this type of slowing in this area, and we all agree on it because we walked it and saw it, and it's important. So they're a really good bridge to getting things done. That's a great plug. Yes, ma'am.
But I think it kind of goes along with the rest. I'm wondering if you can put cameras because everybody's running the stop signs ever since COVID. Everyone knows that. And I know I've been not hit, but I mean, I had to scream in order to get the person to stop.
Yeah.
And I almost got hit. And everybody I talked to in the neighborhood has had the similar experience because people are running the stop sign. And I noticed a police car does park up here to watch this one because of the school often. But when they're not there, that is one of the worst corners that I know of.
The stop light or the stop
There's
sign?
no stop light, it's a stop sign.
Right.
And it's an offset street, Ditmar makes a jog.
Yeah.
And so drivers just don't like that to stop there, you know, they don't like it. So they just don't.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, again, a moneymaker, put a camera in there, give them tickets.
Yes, so, somebody has to monitor, I mean, it's just a little more complicated, but,
I think it'd pay.
maybe.
Or even if you just want to make it more compliant, you can say there's work. Well, I know in Oakland, where I have they have a lot of, this corner is, you know, there was a camera. And so all the drivers know, oh, there's a camera, that's.
We have a lot of cameras downtown. If you haven't seen them, there is a lot of cameras in this area, so, we can talk about the intersection.
So Deputy Mayor, I want to make sure we keep you on track. It sounds like you're going to have a conversation with a few folks after this as well.
Thank you.
So we wanted to tell you thank you very much for coming tonight, but do you also want to introduce your fire staff that happened to come tonight here?
Yeah.
Some of the staff from fire.
Are y'all doing a presentation tonight?
But before they come up and introduce themselves, let's thank Eric for coming tonight here.
We come in peace. We came tonight because we wanted to introduce ourselves. We're the executive staff here for the Oceanside Fire Department. My name is Timothy Scott. I'm the Division Chief of Fire Administration, and this is Jess Specht. He's our Deputy Chief of Operations. And when we reflect on where the future of our department is going, it's the voice of the community. We run the calls all day long. We get out there. We see you when you're sick, and we see you when you're injured. But this is the opportunity to hear you when you're thinking clearly and hear your voice. And from what I'm hearing tonight, I'm hearing a lot of safety concerns. So we want to get out in the community. We want to hear what you guys have to say. And Jess is going to give us an update on what's actually happening in the organization right now.
Thank you, Jess.
Thank you for having us. Jessamyn, Specht, Deputy Fire Chief. I just kind of jotted a few things down to give you an update. Oceanside Fire Academy 23 is about halfway done. We have 10 recruits, new hires. So along with the police department, we're actively trying to make sure our ranks are all filled. The nice thing about our current class is 7 of the 10 are part of our EMT program funded by Measure X. So thank you for passing Measure X. It's done wonders for our department. The lifeguards also passed or just completed their new hire academy as well. They hired 10 part-time lifeguards who will be hitting the beaches this spring and summer, staffing and keeping our beaches safe. And the other thing is the Oceanside Fire Hand Crew is now up and running. They completed their training. Measure X again provided some seed money for a hand crew, and the hand crew will go out and do wildfire brush mitigation throughout the city, clearing vegetation, making sure we have wildfire resilience throughout the community. Finally, I just want to announce, I don't know if you have heard, but Chief Dave Parsons has announced his retirement. He will be leaving us in June, and we are very appreciative of all the progress he has led the department through over the last several years under his leadership. And the city manager has announced that it will be an internal candidate, so we're going to keep the momentum that Chief Parsons has built going, because we won't have someone coming from the outside having to learn names and people and systems. So again, please reach out to the fire department if we can help you in any way, whether it's a safety issue or just you need a fire truck to show up and wave and smile.
Now that we have, who would I reach out to if I'd like to have you speak at one of our meetings?
I'll get you a card,
Okay.
absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Didn't know we were doing Q&A, but here we go.
I want to, I hope you were going to do this, but I'll do it for you. We need to plug their emergency preparedness program.
Stand up.
Go to the mic.
So, here's how it works. They have a group of people, a staff, that do this and focus on this, and you can do it block by block. I personally want to see my block do this so that we're all together, and it's the wonderful thing I like about it, it really does connect us in the best way imaginable. So there's a lot we need to know more than probably you do now about how to be prepared for an emergency. It starts in your own house, but also we need to be better connected with our neighbors so that if there's somebody in a household in the neighborhood that needs special assistance, we know they know how to get a hold of us, they know how to get a hold of the department, and so there's a lot of work that needs to be done on this, but they're available to do it. I think they can do a presentation for this organization too, if you like it, but they do training. I think it's called CERT, right?
Yeah, it's the Oceanside CERT program, CERT Community Emergency Response Team. And again, it's neighborhood by neighborhood. Our emergency manager, city emergency manager, Ashley Lyons, heads up that. So again, reach out to either Tim or myself. We'll get you guys connected, and absolutely we'll do a presentation.
And you can volunteer to be on the team.
I just wanted to give you a shout out. Thank you for your smoke detector replacement program, which I was unaware of, except I ran into some fire people at the Carlsbad Farmers Market.
Right.
And I was asking them what kind of smoke detector I should replace my dead ones with. And he said, oh, we have a free program in Carlsbad. I said, I don't live in Carlsbad. He said, well, go call the Oceanside Fire Department. They probably have one too.
We do as well.
We do.
So I don't know if I'm the only one who didn't know, but that might also be a good thing to let people know.
Contact
And
Pete
it's
through
free, and
the
guys
website,
really
reach
helpful.
out, we will come and install a brand new smoke detector, remove yours, do a test, whatever you need.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you guys were great. I
If you
appreciate
guys
it.
aren't following us on social media, you should, because you'll learn about all the different programs that we're doing, and we're on everything. We've got content going out all the time.
Is it Oceanside Fire Department?
Oceanside.
Yeah, all of them, Instagram, Facebook, I'm not a big social media guy, but the department does it.
We'll leave them all with you.
And we'll make sure it gets on our website as well.
We do education all year long. We physically get to every third grade in each of the schools in Oceanside and some of the Vista and Camp Pendleton. We're throughout the year at every single one. We feel that education at the third grade level should be citywide, and when I was a kid, I got it in third grade, and I remember it to this day, so that's important. In addition, we do smoke alarm programs. We have our open house. That is every October. Keep an eye on that. We bring you down to our fire training center, and we show you all the fun toys and let you play around. Great for kids, great for adults. But if you follow us on those socials, you're gonna see all the community engagement that we're doing.
We're getting the hook, so one more question.
I just want to ask, because you mentioned the brush clearing, but isn't the problem really the flammable weedy grasses and mustard? And now we have a problem with crown daisy. There's fires back here about crown daisy. Those are the fuels that ignite immediately.
And
It's not
they
the
run
brush
very
that's
quickly.
the problem as much as those.
I use brush as a general term,
Yeah.
that's the type of stuff that they'll be clearing out and doing
Yeah,
wildfire
because
resilience
the
for.
crown daisy is way out of control. They're just gonna turn into flash fuels.
Absolutely.
So they're really bad for the planet.
Thank you for having us, we appreciate it. Thank you everyone for coming. Deputy Mayor Joyce is over here. I know a few of you want to talk to him. I'll also say keep an eye out for that newsletter. If there's anything we need to know, we'll make sure that we put it on the agenda, so call us and email us. Thank you.